Welcome, everyone. Visokii Gaming Podcast for the Smackdown June 20th edition. Charlie, you have a painting of a cow behind you. What's up?
Go meet.
Also, my mom's joining us for the podcast, kind of. She's running away. She's hiding. There we go. So, drinks. I'm at my mom's house. Charlie's at his grandmother's house. I'm actually currently watching Charlie's parents' house, which is next door. And Charlie's watching his grandparents' house. We're dog sitting, right, Charlie? So,
oh, yeah, the fun stuff.
How's that dog doing, bro?
It's all right. It's hanging in there.
Garrett, how's your week been?
I'm sick still. I'm kind of starting to wonder if I'm going to die at this point.
You're a man. No. You always build sick stuff more than they are.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I've been feeling like crap. But I thought the wrestling was kind of okay this week. So.
Yeah, I mean, I gave Raw an A+. Which is funny because I went back and I watched the other podcasts that I follow, and they all thought that it was shit.
I was referring more to SmackDown, and I'll say this before we get into everything. I will say that right now, SmackDown has the better in-ring action. Raw has the better storylines, and that is weird saying when the Raw women's division is literally not even a storyline. It's just all the women fight, and same on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean SmackDown has less time, to go with stuff. But anyway, let's get right into it. Speaking of SmackDown, we started off with the new Miss Money in the Bank, Carmella, coming out. Oh, Mom, your computer's a touchscreen? Swag. Yes. Swag. All right. So we we started with Carmella coming out, basically saying, she doesn't like the haters, saying that she didn't win fair and square. Basically, just bragging about how she's Miss Money in the Bank. Charlie, break it down. What'd you think of this? This whole. She had about 10 minutes really to talk.
Yeah, man. She best promo of her career. Night after her boyfriend's best promo of his career. So good for them.
Right, Garrett. So we were saying that the decision is questionable to allow her to be Miss Money in the Bank. We'll talk about that later on with the announcement that we had. But as far as this promo, are you liking how much heat Carmella has? Because the crowd was really, really against her, more than anybody thought they would be.
Right. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I want her to have heat, but she doesn't have heat. It's her and Ellsworth that have heat because of what he did, not because of what she did. I mean, it feels fake to me.
I feel like the heat on her isn't necessarily on her or Ellsworth. It's on WWE for making the decision that they did, right?
Even that, yeah. Like, I feel like they could have done something way better with this, but they just decided not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and we had more developments on this.
I like the promo, though. I will say that. I liked the promo. It was like he said, it was the best of her career. It really was. I mean, and you could tell that she knew she had a meat and right out of her hand. She was smiling every so often, like just that, like, and she already had a decent amount of heat even when she first came, and she was like, "Oh, I was the last pick in the draft" and all that, which she brought back up again in this promo. I mean, there's a million things you can say about a promo like this, but it's like how people are now complaining that Seth Rollins is just doing, like we mentioned, the white meat babyface promos. This is like the opposite of that, but for a heel. Like a heel's general promo will just be like, "Oh, I'm a bad guy. I'm so bad. You should hate me because I'm so bad." But like this was like, I don't care if you hate me. Go ahead. I'm still gonna have this briefcase. Screw you. Bye. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Speak the truth, and people are pissed off at the truth. It's the best kind of heat to get, right? So, and what I like is that they did this later on in the night, but they didn't have all the women from the match come out one by one and tell her why they should have been Miss Money in the Bank, which would have been stupid. They let her have her segment, and she left, and that was it. No interruption by Shane or Daniel Bryan or any of the other women, which I liked. They let her have her time, which is good. Next up, we had a segment between pretty much – so we had a lot of segments sprinkled with Daniel Bryan was back on SmackDown. When he was backstage – and he knew that he had a decision to make. Should he let the decision stand for Money in the Bank and let Carmella keep the briefcase? Or should he take the briefcase away from her and, like, no one's Miss Money in the Bank or restart the match or whatever? There's a lot of different ways they could have gone with it. And so we had all the women in different segments individually coming up to Daniel Bryan and saying, this is why you need to take the briefcase off of her. This is why I deserve to be the one with the briefcase. So instead of doing it all in the first segment with all of them just yelling over each other like they always do, they split it up, and I thought it was much, much better, right? Especially Becky's, which we'll talk about a little later on. But Charlotte was the first one that had her grievances with Daniel Bryan. You want to talk? Either one of you guys want to jump on this? Talk about.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So like, this was just like we had a lot of promos like this tonight, like you said. Like, there's people saying their piece, and I like that, and I'll get more into this, I guess, with each one as we go, but I liked how each one felt like it wasn't them all just saying the same things. They were all having different valid arguments, which is usually not the case with promo writing in WWE. Usually it's just the same thing that somebody literally just said 5 minutes ago, although we'll get to that later as well. 5
seconds ago.
Yeah, like, anyway. But yeah, I like the stuff. I mean, she was just, I don't remember the exact words she used. There was a lot of different reasons why it shouldn't have been. And there was a lot of reasons that were, it was basically the same thing all the people on the internet were saying is what the other women were saying, Like, and if you've been on the internet in relation to wrestling ever since Money in the Bank, you know exactly what we're talking about. Just unbridled hatred.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought Charlotte did okay. I thought all these backstage segments were good. They kept them pretty short for the most part. They were good. We had the first match of the night, which was Big E versus Jimmy Uso. I'm glad you knew that it was Jimmy Uso because I didn't know which Uso it was. I always get confused, man.
I heard it at the beginning, I think, or maybe I rewound it. I can't remember. I wanted to make sure I got it right because I didn't.
The Usos, I can actually tell.
I could tell when they had the masks. When they had like the half faces.
Once, like he was putting on more weight than the other one. Like I feel like remember that happened with the Bellas. Like they started to grow different. Nikki got like the fake tits. It's kind of easy to tell them apart. I feel like that's how it was. And one of them has a tattoo on like his arm, right? And the other doesn't,
or something.
Yeah, and I can't remember which tattoo it is, but anyway.
Again, you wonder with both of those situations if they were like, man, I got to get something because these people can't tell,
Yeah. So Jimmy Uso versus Big E, solid match. Big E ended up getting the win, meaning basically it's setting up that New Day deserves another title match, right? So next week we'll see it again. We'll see Kofi against Jey Uso, and Kofi will win next week. It's a given. And we'll eventually see them again at does SmackDown have a pay-per-view before?
Battleground, July 23rd.
There you go. So Battleground, we'll see a rematch between the titles. Who knows? Maybe New Day gets it, and then we see a rematch at SummerSlam. We see the trifecta, which I would be down with. This match in particular. They took it a little easy because Big E almost killed himself on a dive at the pay-per-view. But I thought it was a solid match. What do you guys think of it?
One of my favorite parts was they're talking about how they're the wardens of the Usos penitentiary. And Kofi's like, he's got a big nightstick and he ain't afraid to use it.
Yeah. Sexual innuendos, why not?
Yeah.
As someone who's rooting pretty hard for Ramses in the upcoming Big Brother season, Garrett, what do you think about the nightstick jokes?
Oh, dude, dick jokes are always the best. Whenever you can shove into, and yes, that was supposed to be a pun. Whenever you can shove them into anything. I mean,
well, hold on. If you're gonna make a joke, you can't declare that you're making a joke. You gotta just make it, help people roll with it.
Well, I always explain my jokes because it obviously makes them funnier.
Oh, dude, I think my stepdad's home. You can hop in. If you guys didn't know, I have an African stepdad.
He's not kidding.
Right. Legit.
Okay. What is it? Tony Stark says in the Avengers movies, no judging.
This is my stepdad, James.
Hello, James.
Sadit.
Hey, Charlie's on here, right? Yeah. Charlie's at his grandmother's house up north. So yeah. Anyway.
Enjoy it.
Hey, James.
So James is a good guy. So we had a segment with Natalia we had Natalya and Tamina coming in. They did kind of a good cop, bad cop thing. I was impressed by Tamina in this, which she can be pretty cringy on the mic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Again, we'll get to that later.
Once again, a lot of cliffhangers in this episode. Because this storyline was the overhanging storyline of the entire night, right?
Yeah.
Completely.
So they just kept coming back to it all night, which is good. We rarely see storylines just interwoven throughout the entire night, which is great.
And I've noticed SmackDown definitely does that more. Their shows have a whole line of story to each individual show. I think that's maybe why it's more considered the popular show.
Yep, they definitely do. And it's easier to interwove things between 2 hours rather than 3 hours as well. Right? So, but basically, Natty was kind of doing the good cop. Tamina was doing the bad cop. Basically, just more or less doing the same thing Charlotte did with Daniel Bryan, just pressing him more and more. Like, Daniel, you got to do something about this. You got to do something about this, you know? And at this point, I think Daniel Bryan was feeling a little bit of pressure, right? And at this point, we also knew that we were going to see Becky and – is there another one? No, just Becky. We knew that we were going to see Becky later on in the night. Anything else about this backstage segment that you guys want to hit on? Garrett, maybe?
I mean, no, it was just another one of the. They went back to it after the first match because they wanted to make sure that the storyline didn't. Instead of cutting it like one match, one promo for hour, which is usually what you get for wrestling, about one promo or two promos and a match an hour. If you pay enough attention, like I do, having to mark everything down. Like that's what you see generally. That's what most shows are structured like. On this, they did a opening like segment, then they went into the first actual promo. And then they went into a segment, then they went to a match, and then went back to another segment. So they would never left your mind throughout this show what the main story of the show was.
True. I like that.
Yep. We had an interview with Naomi backstage, and she gets interrupted by Lana, basically saying Lana wants a rematch, saying she got screwed out of the match because of the shenanigans that went down with it. And Naomi says, okay, so we're going to see, I think next week, right? We're going to see Lana and Naomi next week for the title?
Yeah. SmackDown's loaded next week because just stuff like this.
So, hey, why not? But
Naomi's got some colorful hair now.
Do they give Lana the rematch with the title for no reason? Like, Lana, I feel like she's going to win.
I mean, it's just that James Ellsworth storyline. They're just keeping it going.
Are you saying Lana has the same in-ring talent as James Ellsworth?
Wow.
Probably less, bro. James Ellsworth was an indie wrestler.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding. Lana's not bad.
Bro. No, bro. You're telling the truth, bro. I mean, Lana, if you're watching this by circumstance and you want to defend yourself, come on to the podcast. It'll be great. We'll kick Garrett off.
Jesus.
And then we went to a really cringy backstage interview with Orton. Do we need to talk about this?
See, I didn't think this was cringy at all. I thought he actually kind of looked serious for once. You know, he looked motivated.
Basically, he basically just said, you know, I took my eye off the ball when we okay, Garrett.
That's what he did in the end.
I took my eye off the ball when the Singh brothers attacked my dad, and I lost concentration, and he capitalized.
Yeah.
I lost. Right?
Yeah.
Was there any other big points to it?
One of my favorite parts was I want to go RKO his family, his uncles, his aunts, his cousins.
I forgot him.
His mom, his dad. I'm going to take a trip to India and RKO them all.
The entire Mahal family.
Great Khali.
Whoa, dude. They're not all related.
Apparently all the Samoans are related except for Joe. Actually, they are.
That is because they all live on the same island. You know what I mean? Well, on the same set of islands, I should say. I don't want to generalize.
Yeah, exactly. So finally, we had another match. Dolph Ziggler versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which we've seen a bunch of times. Now, something I've seen, if you guys watch other podcasts, people bitch all the time that they don't save matchups for TV, right? So like when they did like Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins in a singles match or something, they'd be like, why didn't they save that? But then if they have a situation like this where Shinsuke and Dolph go against each other again, they're like, why don't they give us anything fresh? So it's really like WWE can't win in the booking, you know?
Yeah, they're just complaining to complain.
They should just quit. It's over.
One thing that's interesting is that Dolph Ziggler in these matches always comes out looking better than Nakamura, kind of. As far as like people that are critiquing the matches, Ziggler sells better false finishes, in my opinion. You know, Nakamura looks great, but once they build his character, do you think they need to build his character more for him to seem more effective, Garrett?
Nakamura? I mean, if you go back to New Japan, the reason why he had such a great character there is because of the years and years that he spent there, building his name. I mean, the King of Strong Style name didn't just show up the first day he wrestled. He earned that title for being the stiffest wrestler in the world, and now he doesn't really live up to the same amount of hype. There's no need for that in modern WWE. They don't do the strong style. That's why a Pete Dunne will never be Cruiserweight champion, sadly to say, you know? Like,
I got to say, who dies first in a street fight between Nakamura and Sheamus?
No, I was like we said the one time, it's got to be Corbin, even though he's bigger because he was a Golden Glove boxer. Like, and I'm seriously still thinking Nakamura. He probably can't put it down.
I mean, like the stipulation street fight.
Oh, a street fight. I mean, I want to say Nakamura, but he's not billed as like basically what American audience would be like the extreme version. That would be more what Ziggler has done because of he's going to have more experience, and that's how WWE is going to look at it.
Yeah, I agree. Charlie, what do you think about the match in general?
I was running a little behind, and I just kind of skipped through the match a little bit. Didn't really watch too much of it, but it seemed kind of decent, like what they always do against each other.
Yeah, I mean, they had some really good false finishes. One thing that's good is that Dolph Ziggler used the zigzag for so long as his finisher. People are always going to buy it as false finish.
Yeah, true.
That's why Sami Zayn needs to finish a couple guys with the Blue Thunder Bomb, because it's such a good move.
Oh, yeah.
It needs to build back its credibility as a finishing move. You know,
well, I think they think that some of the ones that don't ever – I feel like that's what they think is like if a move only ever gets a 2 count, then somehow that counts as it meaning there's going to be a false finish because you know it's going to be a 2 count. But, like, it takes the people that are actually paying attention out of it because they're like, well, we know he's not going to get the pin with that.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Daniel Bryan was backstage with Becky Lynch. I thought Becky did a great job with this promo. This was one where I actually bought into what she was saying, basically saying she's been this, for lack of a better word, white meat baby face for so long, right? She's been trying to do things the right way her whole career, but instead of the land of opportunity, it seems like the land of handouts.
Oh, yeah. This was a good promo.
That was a fantastic line. Because, I mean, it's kind of true. You've got Jinder Mahal get handed that #1 contenders match. You've got Lana getting handed a title match. John Cena can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. So it kind of feels like that. Do you sense a heel turn coming in from Becky, Charlie?
I don't think she turned sealed. I mean, that could be a cool angle if they really get desperate, but I don't think it happens.
Mom, the kid's 5 years old. You're calling him a loser?
Not a hockey player.
We're watching the NHL expansion draft / award party, and there's a little – I hear my mom going, look at this kid. Look at this. He looks like a goon. And I turn around, and there's a little kid in a suit on the TV.
Hey, come on.
All right. Just Just putting that out there. But Garrett, would you like to see a Becky Lynch heel turn?
I mean, it depends on how well she can do as a heel. I mean, like, I feel like there's a reason why, like, even though some of these chicks I'm sure have worked heel at some point, that they still don't get the opportunity to because they just are looked at one way. Because there's a lot less, I feel like in the WWE, there's a lot less opportunity for you to turn. Because nowadays, especially with people that come from the indie scene, they look at you as what you were popular as there, and that's the only way they could ever possibly work. Which is weird, because you also have the opposite. You have people that they either completely change, so that they're a complete opposite of what they were in terms of heel face, but you also have people that are completely whatever it is they came in as. So it's a pretty barren landscape when you look at it like that. And then you have your established people that can change, but that's the part they need to get established, and they just haven't. They don't give them the opportunity by letting them do these experimental things. Neville's heel turn is one of the most surprising things that they've done recently.
And I mean, and he's been a face for so long, it made an impact, right? So Becky's been a face her whole career. If she made a heel turn, it would make an impact. Now I have to ask, do you think that they could pull off a Becky versus Charlotte program with Becky as the heel, Charlie?
I don't know. They'd have to,
right?
Yeah, it'd be hard, but I mean, with creativity, anything's possible. So,
well, we know how WWE is. But, yeah, it's true.
We also know when they're back. What?
Go ahead, Garrett.
Oh, we also know when their backs are to the wall, they'll just go with whatever the internet's saying.
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't do. Kind of.
Money in the Bank is a perfect example, because that's not just you saying what you said was the only time I heard that kind of thing happening for that finish.
Yeah, that's true. I think. Also in this promo, Sami Zayn entered into the fold very quickly, but just kind of went by and said, "Oh, Becky, I saw what happened with that Money in the Bank. That's a real shame." I think it kind of solidifies that the locker room as a whole thought that this was the wrong move.
Yeah,
I don't agree with what Ellsworth did either, like the guys. I think that's important. That was really important for them to do, because it won't just come across as the girls bitching.
That's true.
Yeah, because they complain about who won no matter what, whether they're a heel or face. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But this is justifying the hatred.
Yo, that was messed up. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Give something Sammy to do too, which is good. Other than weird commercials.
Kevin Owens comes out and keeps the tradition alive. He's going to issue an open challenge to anyone that lives in Dayton, Ohio. I hope this is a weekly.
First of all, let me just say, there are no professional wrestlers in Dayton, Ohio that I know
of. Yeah, dude, Garrett, why weren't you at Smackdown? Explain yourself.
Literally in the town that I live. I don't even. Money's tight. Next time.
Bro, just go get someone blowy in the.
All right, we don't need to give. All right, Garrett, don't do that. Stay in school.
Hey man, I have a college degree. My ideas are better.
He has a valid point there. I don't have my degree yet.
The Veeg has a valid point too.
The Veeg.
Yeah, bro. Whatever. The Veeg would not answer the challenge.
Dude, Dax Wallace was the Veeg was so powerful. Dax Wallace's video even disappeared. He just faded.
That was the response.
Yeah, just I put up a great video and Charlie took it down.
Oh, controversy.
No one will ever know who deleted the video.
It was Tim Knight Rider.
So, basically, AJ Styles comes out, and we're all like, we all know damn well he's from Atlanta. There's no way AJ Styles is answering this challenge. And he comes out, really doesn't say much, but then American Alpha's music hits. American Alpha's alive. Jason Jordan quickly goes back into the back. Just says, "Hey, I'm alive too. See you later." Gable comes walking down to the ring, and
there you go.
That he's recently started living in an apartment on this college campus.
Brady, look at your TV real quick.
Which, by the way, again, as far as I know, Chad Gable does not live in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, I don't think he does either.
Not even in like some college apartment.
People Leafs just picked. Who am I missing? Am I behind?
Oh yeah. Look now, you'll see.
Yeah, it's still showing the Maple Leafs pick. So.
Yeah, that was the one before.
Okay, cool. I'll watch it in a second.
Anyway,
oh, dude, which if you guys didn't know, I like hockey a lot. And Las Vegas has a new expansion team. So what they're able to do is take one player from every team that's not protected. Teams can protect certain players based on salary or experience or any of those things. But Las Vegas is going to have
Anyway, like he was saying, it's written into their contracts. I'll just explain that really quickly. It's written into their contracts whether or not they're protected, I think, usually for the higher level players.
Not
as far as I've heard. That's from people that watch.
I think this is like a brand new thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's a brand new thing. Expansion teams in the past have up a bunch of losers.
Well, then we need to boycott the PKA podcast because Mercadirk is be spreading lies.
Yep. You know who also spreads lies, bro? Matt Morgan. Guy's an idiot.
Dax
right?
Wallace.
Hey, man, the guy's sick. All right, give him a break.
Look how stupid Matt Morgan is.
I don't even know who that is.
Cut a promo on Matt Morgan right now. I just had
I got
deja vu.
one thing to say about Matt Morgan, all right?
Let's hear it.
7 foot tall.
And you can't teach that.
He hit us with the block.
All right. So, no, but it's cool. So if you guys just want to get into hockey, there's a brand new team. You can make them. You can make them your team. The Las Vegas Golden Knights. Go Knights! Charge on. But anyway, Chad Gable comes down, says that he's recently moved to Dayton, Ohio. We get a match between Kevin Owens and Chad Gable. That was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Pretty solid.
Chad Gable, for whatever reason, he always puts on good matches, but then people are surprised by it. Is that a good thing or a bad thing that people always forget and they're impressed by his matches?
Honestly, bro, there's some people that watch this match that probably never seen the guy before.
Right?
Sad but true.
Like, if he wouldn't have come out to the American Alpha music, do you think people would have been like, oh, jobber?
It would have taken him a second. Some people.
Wow.
Maybe some even in the crowd. I mean, these.
Do you understand? You're dissing the boy that lives in Dayton.
Garrett, why didn't you answer the open challenge, bro?
Well, do I look like a professional wrestler?
Hell yeah,
No.
You're about the same size.
I mean, I actually thought about that. I was like, if I was gonna do it, I could be a big man wrestler, but I'm not. I'd have to
Yeah, what's your height?
like 6 something. I don't know. Like probably 6'4" at this point. I haven't gone to the doctor in a while.
6'4"? Dude, I don't believe that. Tape measure, tweet it.
Oh, I was gonna stand up and show you. Okay.
I can't get a reference point.
I'm in a basement and my head almost touches the roof.
What I need is that wall in your house where your mom has been taking tallies on the wall.
Oh yeah, the class.
We don't have that. We don't own this place. We can't do stuff like that.
Who didn't have that growing up, man?
Oh well, we probably had it at our old house.
Oh, okay.
Place I grew up at,
The
actually.
match was good. Kevin Owens won. Obviously, he wasn't going to drop the title, but it was a solid match. Anything specific about this match that you guys really liked, Garrett?
I feel like I was somewhat against this match because I really hoped there was some jobber that just lived in Dayton that would come out. I didn't care. It would have been fine.
Not true. That's always kind of fun.
Yeah, like I feel, especially because I was like, oh, well, whenever someone's gonna walk out there, I'm gonna recognize them. You know, like it could happen. I know a lot of people. You know, like
Wouldn't that have been something?
there would have been. I'd have totally taken a picture and sent it to you guys immediately. Like I didn't watch it I didn't watch SmackDown live or anything, but like I would have totally been like, hey guys, I know this dude. You know.
Now, if someone from Litchfield, Maine, ends up walking out one week, I'm shitting myself.
Dude.
That's like the best town ever.
Charlie, anything about this match?
Yeah, Gable just looked good as always.
He did. He surprised a lot of people. Now, okay, so Charlie, would you rather be a wrestler that everyone thinks sucks but then puts on great matches so they're surprised, or everyone thinks is great but his matches really aren't that great?
I mean, if that's the case, you're already sucking your own mind. So you might as well be the guy that surprises everyone.
See, I don't know, man. Chael Sonnen in the MMA world has made a career of not winning a lot of fights, but he always gets the marquee fights because he runs his mouth. I'd rather suck and just people be like, oh, he's great because he almost beat Anderson Silva one time.
But wouldn't you rather be like someone like a Joe Lozon who doesn't win every fight, but when he does, everyone's like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing ever, you know?
Hold on, let me look up Joe Lozon's age.
He's older, I think. I don't remember. He might be retired now. I haven't watched actual UFC and I don't know how long.
No, I was just gonna say, I was like, dude, he's 33. I guess he could still fight.
Yeah,
he's retired, but
he is okay. I didn't know. I follow him on Twitter. I should probably know that, but you know.
Well, it says he's retired from the UFC, but who knows? He might fight.
Bellator. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Dana Bryan comes out and says he's made a decision on the Money in the Bank match. Brings all the women out, and once again, like always, all of the women need to talk in succession. And Charlotte deals the burn of the century. She's like, Carmella, you shut your mouth before I make you look like Ellsworth.
Got it.
Punch her chin in. Great line.
Got it.
And Tamina goes, hey, Charlotte, how about you shut your mouth before I make you look like Ellsworth?
Did she really?
She did.
Yeah. Yes.
I lost it, dude. I was like, what?
No
I feel like the line was supposed to be something more like, oh, well, if you want to talk about someone looking more like Ellsworth, how about I make you look like him right now or something? Like something more forceful, more direct, because I noticed that hers was a little indirect.
She basically put like a different stress on a different word. So Charlotte was like, shut your mouth before I make you look like Ellsworth. And Tamina goes, hey, Charlotte, how about you shut your mouth before I make you look like Ellsworth? And
it was totally supposed to be phrased differently or something, you could tell. Or maybe it was just bad writing. I don't know.
No, no way that was on purpose.
Yeah.
No.
They might do some things weird, but I don't think they do that.
Before the show, they're typing it up. Shit, man. I don't know. Just give them the same line.
Tamina, you need to write this promo. I can't write promos. I'm busy. Well,
I can't read.
Wow.
What?
No, I'm kidding. Messing with you.
No, but it was super cringy. But Daniel Bryan has announced that next week, which got a huge amount of boos from the crowd. Next week, the women's Money in the Bank match will be restarted, and they're just going to run it over again. Which we're all kind of hoping. I shouldn't speak for you guys. I'm hoping Carmella just wins it again, but wins it clean.
With a promo like this, I hope she does too. Garrett?
I just wish they weren't doing the freaking match again. If they were going to just do this and maybe have Carmella win again, why
in all fairness, they had like fucking 6 or 7 weeks for the next pay-per-view, so it kills time.
Yeah, I mean, and the big thing is, though, the match has to be way better than the first match, right?
It's going to be the main event of next week, right? Probably.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, the women have all this pressure now to make it a better match, and they're going to give them more time this time around. Because WWE, like, in history forever now, since they know they messed up with the man winning women's Money in the Bank, pretty much, this is what they're going to show on every highlight reel from now on. The first ever women's Money in the Bank. When they do it again, this is the match that they're going to show, is next week's match. So if it sucks next week, they're going to be really, I feel like it wouldn't take much for Vince McMahon to be like, let's not do another one of those. So I hope they kill it, man. They got some good talent. And also, as announced on Talking Smack, James Ellsworth is banned from ringside in the match. Do you think they'll go the way, Garrett, of James Ellsworth's music hitting and distracting Becky, and then Carmella wins?
I mean, I sounds exactly like something WWE would do. I'll give you that. That is exactly what. No, I'm just gonna say that's probably exactly what's gonna happen. Honestly, like that.
Man's he's got that confusion meme where the guy's head spinning, and he's just sitting there. But I can't have a woman win clean. How's a woman supposed to win a match without a man? But no, it should be all right. We had Jinder Mahal versus Luke Harper. Once again, Luke Harper is alive. So the only person that we're still not sure if they're alive or dead after this week is Ty Dillinger. They brought back American Alpha. They brought back Luke Harper. And he faced Jinder Mahal. Anything that you guys really liked out of this match? Because it was kind of meh for me.
That almost roll up by Harper was kind of cool. That was about it. That was a really good near fall on Mahal.
This was probably the worst match that Jinder's had on SmackDown since he's been champion. Or since he's been vying for the championship even, you know. Except maybe the Mojo Rawley match wasn't that great, but I mean this wasn't as good as that, I don't think.
Yeah, and that was weird because with Mojo Rawley, I don't know. Yeah. Everyone knew the way that it was going to go. So there was no like back and forth. I mean, everyone knew how this was going to go as well. But I have a question. You guys both know Velveteen Dream. Gary, you've been watching NXT, right?
Yep.
If he wins via roll up, will they call it a fruit roll up? Cameron gets turned off for that one. You need a blob, bro. You guys need the blob.
Send me the blob.
Oh Jesus, no! But the match was okay. I mean, Harper's good. He sells well. And then Gary, you have listed WWE babyface controversy.
Yeah, that's what you had me jot down on Monday's episode. You were talking about how the. Okay.
You're right. So that's it for SmackDown. Overall grades for SmackDown this week. I'll start with Charlie.
I give it a B-.
It's pretty solid. Garrett?
C+. I just felt like there have been better episodes of SmackDown recently, and the main event wasn't anything really to look forward to in particular. Like when they announced that we were going to be getting, I forget what the other match that they announced was. It was whatever topped out the first hour. I forget what it was, but yeah. And then the main event, I was like, I'm not really excited for either of these matches. So going into it like that, I can never really give it like above a C. Right. So, you know.
But you gave it a C+, so you did give it above a C.
No, above like a C level grade. I mean, like C- plus or C.
Yeah, I'll probably give it right out of C. I thought it was, because C is average. I'll give it an average grade. I thought it was good. There were some good things. There were some bad things. They did a really good job of setting up next week.
Yeah.
Get anything lower than a B for me next week, that means they really messed something up. But yeah, I want to talk quickly about there are reports that WWE has been keeping certain baby faces off TV regularly because they're afraid that the creative team is going to screw them up and make fans turn on them.
For good reason.
Basically talking about Ty Dillinger, Roman Reigns was off TV for a while. Seth Rollins was off for a little while. Any other big baby faces that you guys can think of? Luke Harper.
American Alpha.
Yeah.
There you go, American Alpha. I mean, like you said, it makes sense, but this is kind of playing scared, right? This is kind of like, oh, I think I might get hurt at some point today, so I'm just going to sit at home and do nothing.
Fair.
It seems like a kind of cynical way to view wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is this something that you would do, Garrett?
No. I'm not going to let you finish it because no. And here's why. Because the moment that you start letting the fans say and do everything to influence your decisions, and I'm not saying the fans don't know what they're talking about sometimes, because sometimes they obviously do, especially in retrospect. We're always right in retrospect. It's funny how that works, isn't it? But like okay, so let me use an example. So phone call. Who's calling? Anyway, so like, because I feel like when you start doing that, immediately you disqualify yourself from having any original ideas. And if you stop taking risks because you think the crowd might not latch on or they might not like the way that you book them, then the crowd's going to inevitably hate you more because you're not even giving the people a chance. And that is really wrestling. All you need is a chance. You know, Stone Cold Steve Austin on one promo on one night just so happened to be that guy after the King of the Ring tournament win.
Look at
you know what I mean?
They gave him one chance to give a promo for 6 minutes, and all of a sudden he could end up just launching himself into superstardom.
I could see a match between him and Brock that people would buy. You know what I mean? Like, or somebody, him and Braun or something, or whoever. Like, you know, like, whatever. It doesn't matter because you can put him in a match against anybody, and you'll probably buy the feud. I mean, like, all it takes is that one opportunity. But they're so scared that these opportunities will be wasted, probably because they've seen it a lot in the past with guys that just in the back don't do anything or don't care. You know, they just make their money and they leave. Like, because of that stigma. And I think that's why Triple H went so heavy with NXT and made it into what it is, so that these guys can have the opportunities that guys like him and guys like The Undertaker and guys like Shawn Michaels that never had before. But they made themselves anyway because they had that opportunity. It sucks now because the WWE corporate structure, the way that it's changed, because it's such a big company now, nobody can just go out there and be like, oh, I'm just going to just cut this awesome promo even though it's off script. They still want them to do that, but everyone's just so afraid that they'll get fired or moved off television that they don't do anything. I mean, it's half the wrestler's fault, half the booker's fault, because the bookers still have something to say about this too, because they're the ones booking stuff badly.
I mean, it seems like the wrestlers have been wrestling scared for a while, but now that we know that, well, we don't know for sure, but there's a rumor that management might also be booking scared. That's not really a way, like, that's why the Attitude Era got started, was taking all these risks, right, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't really know too much about that era and stuff.
Sometimes you got to let them fly, basically. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes, do they feel like they have to book everyone exactly how they want? Because, honestly, it's like if you're afraid that you're going to book someone into a corner and you're going to ruin that character, why not give more control to the wrestlers to see what they do?
Yeah. True.
And say what you want about guys in the back that know a lot about wrestling because they wrestled back in the 80s or 90s during those eras. Nobody knows more about the current wrestling scene than wrestlers. I mean, honestly. And, like, I want to get your take on this too, Brady, but I just want to say one more thing. Like, if a guy like Dean Ambrose actually had any creative control whatsoever at this point, can you imagine how much that Intercontinental title would be worth right now before Miz even is back in the picture? I mean, when the Miz won it, I think everyone was just like, okay, now we can go back to this title meaning something a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like, why even? I mean, a guy like the Miz, whom, by the way, most people in the wrestling community, even if they don't like know about, like, even if it's not because of his work, but just because of who he is, they don't like him already, which he uses to his advantage. And he can make the Spirit Squad seem to matter on a couple of, like, a month of SmackDown, you know? Like, it's like you got to give these people the chance to prove you wrong, WWE. You may think you know better, and I know they're never going to probably see this, but you're never going to get everything right. I know, like, Vince McMahon likes to think he's some sort of wrestling god when it comes to things, you know? But, like, even he has had stupid decisions in the end, and you can tell when he overrides something that could have potentially been really good. I mean...
But then sometimes he overrides stuff that works out, like the Jinder Mahal stuff. Apparently they weren't going to go as far with the whole racial tension thing, and even though I hate how they're doing it, it's worked out for him thus far, you know? I think the biggest issue is wrestlers not knowing that they're a big deal until they're not a big deal anymore. So right now, The Miz and John Cena know exactly where they stand with the company. The Miz knows that he's bigger than that IC title. In a lot of ways, he's bigger than SmackDown or Raw, whatever. It doesn't matter, whatever show he's on. The Miz can go out there and not stick to the script 100%. He can add some little things in there because these writers aren't necessarily writing for the characters. They're writing for a good TV show in their mind. But they don't take into account the people that are delivering these lines and these promos and taking part in these matches. So The Miz goes out there and just does it. He just makes the promo his own. John Cena does the same exact thing. Goldberg came back. You know, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman. Do you think Paul Heyman gives a shit if he gets fired or not at this point? He probably doesn't.
Even a guy like AJ Styles, who you'd think at this point probably wouldn't be able to do that because they know how good he is now, because they've let him have that opportunity only because of his name beforehand. Is why, by the way, I'll let you know. Same with Samoa Joe.
That's why he's getting better and better. AJ Styles.
Same with Joe. It's the same thing with Joe. Joe's grabbing for the brass ring because they're letting him.
And Joe's been there before, you know, not necessarily, you know, him and Styles are definitely not new to the business. They've cut promos before. So
yeah,
probably in TNA, they had a lot more creative freedom in TNA and, you know, for Joe, Ring of Honor, and New Japan for Styles. So they had a lot more creative freedom, so they just didn't change anything when they came to WWE, whereas these people that were brought up and have been there longer, like Rollins, they just stick with status quo and don't change, and that makes for worse TV.
If you want to know what we're talking about, by the way, when we say these guys have all this experience from the independent circuit, go back and find, I think it's still on YouTube, Ring of Honor. I don't remember what it was. I think it was just a Ring of Honor show. It's AJ Styles versus CM Punk for the Ring of Honor heavyweight title, and it is one of the best matches I've seen. It was before either of them were ever in WWE. I think it might have been before AJ went to TNA, or maybe he was wrestling there at the time and he was just doing Ring of Honor shows. But if you go back and watch that, that is really one of the best matches I've seen. And it still hasn't really been topped, even by the stuff they're doing in Japan, because it's not really my cup of tea all the time. But, like, it's such an interesting match. Plus, CM Punk uses my favorite finisher of all time, which is a pedigree off the top rope that he calls the Pepsi Plunge. But, you know, like, yeah, it's just...
Oh, I've actually seen that. Yeah, that's a sick move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think WWE just needs to let some guys fly. And even if they're not letting guys fly, Roman Reigns can't be touched right now. He needs to understand that he can't be touched right now. WWE would never let him go be an indie wrestler. He would be way too huge. They would never let him go anywhere other than WWE right now. So why does he deliver promos like he's walking on eggshells? Just take some initiative, you know?
Yeah.
That's all I ask. But we don't have much more for news for this week, so I think that'll wrap it up.
Solid week of wrestling.
Go check out the Golden Knights draft. If you want to get into hockey, like I said, now's the time to do it, man. Because right now, if you become a fan of this team, you can't be seen as a bandwagon or anything and be like, yeah, liked them since day one. Tomorrow is officially day one of this team. You could be a fan since day one. How often can you say that? So, by the way, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell. Because
check out Brady's "I'm Yours" cover by, was it Jason? Is it Mraz? Jason
Mraz.
Jim Mraz. Sorry, I just don't know. I'm bad with names.
I'm Yours. Go watch it.
Yeah,
I'm terrible. So
no, he's great.
So anyway, yeah, I just decided to make. I'll probably put more up later on. But
look out for a collab with me and Brady eventually too.
There you go. So check out Big Brother videos. Appreciate, we're 5 subscribers away currently from 300. So you guys can go subscribe. I'd appreciate it. We'd all appreciate it. Charlie, anything for the people?
Don't drink and drive. Peace.